Hello there, welcome to this really, really special show. It's designed by Gemma Crow. How do you feel about having an entire show named after you, Gemma?
Oh, I feel quite privileged, yeah.
Good.
Exciting.
Fantastic. This is going to give Gemma a chance to show us a really, really fantastic design that she's been working on. She's put this incredible bundle together. Did you have a design in mind?
I knew I wanted to create something sort of ethnic looking, and earthy, but until I got it all in my hands, no, it all came together there.
It's a stunning collection that Gemma's put together here. Let me show you what's in here. You've got these beautiful plain rounds of agate here, absolutely stunning. We're going to see different techniques of how Gemma's actually collated all of these ingredients together and made incredible pieces. You've got these gorgeous banded agate 10mm plain rounds, really lovely variants in colour there. A lot like Botswana agate, this one. Followed by smoky quartz graduated 4 to 5mm plain rounds as well. So some gorgeous chocolatey tones to go with your earthy tones here. The final strand that's in this bundle is just gorgeous. I love it. It's perfect for mediums like macrame, because what you're actually going to be getting here are these gorgeous fancy shaped jaspers. Now if you look at the shape, oh, that one looks like a lizard. Beautiful inclusions on these, which is absolutely awesome. But can you see? It looks like each one of these has got a groove, and each one does. It has a gorgeous groove going round the circumference of each one of these jaspers, making it perfect for macrame, kumihimo, or indeed for the bundle which Gemma's put together today. Great for wire wrapping as well. These are artist jasper fancy shape beads, 300 carats in total. This collection's called African Allure, and you can totally see the kind of angle where Gemma's coming from here. To make it even more appealing, she's actually included some wire here as well. I can't wait to see what she's done with these. 10 metres of 1mm gauge black coloured copper wire. I'll just pop there. 10 metres, oh no, sorry, I beg your pardon, 100 metres of 0.4mm gauge antique bronze colour copper wire. I know you're mad about antique bronze colour copper wire, so it's not surprising at all to see it in a collection like this. So that's 110 metres of wire. You've got your 3 strands of gemstones and a metre of this. Now it looks like fabric, it feels like fabric, it is actually wire mesh ribbon. It's the most incredible material, and having seen the designs in which Gemma has used this incredible mesh, it is absolutely wonderful. You can do so much with this mesh. You can put gemstones inside the mesh, you can sew onto this, you can stretch it out as you might have just seen. It is the most wonderful material to work with. Now you've got 3 genuine gemstone strands here, you've got a metre of your mesh, 110 metres of wire. This is your price today. Do give us a call on our free phone number or get involved on our website JewelleryMaker.com. This is your deal, £34.95. Now when you consider how much 100 metres of wire is individually, how much the mesh is individually, how much these gemstones are worth maybe to you individually, that really is a tremendous deal you're going to be getting today. Now, the code is UFGC11. If you want to add this to your order, give us a call on our free phone number or add it to your order by copying and pasting this code onto our website. Now, I'm going to head over to Gemma now because we've got a lot to get through within the next half an hour or so. I'll bring these over, Gemma, just so we can have a look at them as we go through. So you said you knew you wanted to create something which was kind of ethnic-y.
Yeah. It's a very me piece, this one. It's the sort of thing I would wear.
Absolutely, it really is, Gemma. I can imagine you wearing it with the outfit you've got on today, actually. It's a stunning... I mean, I'm drawn automatically to this piece. This is the big centerpiece, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. I love those leaves that you've... I love how you've used the mesh on this, and the smoky quartz looks fabulous as well. You've made a gorgeous pair of earrings to go with it, stunning bracelet. What techniques are we going to see from you today, Gemma?
Well, what's really lovely about these shows is I can take you right through a design from the very start all the way through the design.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
And it's just the necklace we're going to be focusing on.
Fantastic.
The others I did as a bonus, mainly because I couldn't stop working with the stones. They are so gorgeous.
They're wonderful. The jaspers with the groove around them. It's just such a... It's a wonderful strand to work with. Yeah. I love what you've done with them, Gemma.
I've never worked with them before, and sometimes when you get an irregular shaped stone and you want it to sit flat, it might twist and move, but with those grooves around, it gives you the option of cementing or securing them exactly where you put them.
Oh, fantastic. Right, okay, Gemma. take us through this
Okay.
incredible necklace. This is wonderful.
So it's a bit like one of those shows where you've got bits already made up. So I'm
Blue
gonna,
Peter, maybe?
So we've got sort of a necklace half made, and I'm going to show you how to do each part, and then hopefully by the end we'll have it all threaded together.
Fantastic.
And you can see how it's done.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to create the loop first at the back of the neck, because what I've done is I've used the 1mm wire, which is a nice strong wire, and will hold its
Certainly
shape.
is.
So that's made the necklace itself, the actual what we're going to work onto. So I'm going to show you with this end the loop, and then as we work around the necklace, we'll come to the hook sort of as the last thing we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a length of 1mm wire, and I've cut, I think, maybe around 40-50 centimetres. It's just enough to go around the neck with an inch or so, 2 inches either side, to play with to make your clasps.
Brilliant.
Okay, and I'm going to use a mandrel, the mandrel we've got at JM, or you could use a pen, anything that will help you make a loop. And I'm going to pass the wire around it, all the way around so that it crosses over, like so. And then with my thumbnail or my pliers, I just bend that up so the loop is on top. My black top's in the way, isn't it?
That's okay.
The loop is on top.
Perfect.
There, like a lollipop.
Yeah.
Okay, once you've got it like that, hold it with your pliers, your flat pliers, and take this end and just wrap it around the length of wire, and that's just going to secure it in place.
Lovely.
Okay, and then when you've got a bit left, just take your snips and snip it off. Okay,
Lovely.
so there's our loop.
Fantastic.
Now I'll move on to working around the necklace. What I've done here is, you can see I've made my loop, I've threaded on then a bead, one of my agates, and then I haven't used a gizmo, I've coiled the 0.4mm wire around and around, and we'll do that. As you can see, I've worked to the centre of this necklace.
Yeah, lovely.
Then we're going to make these components from the centre and then work
fantastic.
back
Okay.
round. So
Yeah.
we'll cover that in a minute.
Lovely.
So now I'm at the point where I need to make the large leaf shape that goes into the centre of the necklace.
Gorgeous.
There. So let me find which piece of wire I've cut for which part. There we go. So I'm going to need a length of about 30 centimetres I've cut here.
Okay.
We will snip some off, but again, it's best to have a bit much than not enough. And I'm going to need my wire mesh and a length of 0.4 wire, just enough to wrap. So again, probably about 40-50 centimetres of 0.4 wire. Right, make the leaf shape. You've got, when your wire comes off of the reel, it's it's circular already, so don't straighten it out. We're going to use that to our advantage to create a nice leaf shape. So lay it down and then take roughly the centre in your flat nose pliers. And what we want is a really sharp V. So we're going to use the flat nose pliers and hold it firmly and push against that with our thumb. And that's going to keep, because there's a flat side on these pliers, you're going to get a nice sharp point.
Yeah, lovely.
It crosses over, looks a bit like a fish at this point.
It does, yeah.
Okay, now we want to thread on our mesh, and again I haven't cut the mesh until I've finished. That way you don't get any waste at all. You only use exactly what you need. So if you roll it between your fingers, the mesh, you'll find that it will make itself into the tube that it is. And then thread your leaf shape into the mesh tube.
Ah, that's fantastic. I couldn't work out whether you'd actually sewn it on or whether you put it over like a sock, but that's what you've done. That's wonderful.
No, we make the frame, and then because it's a tube, it's really easy to cover it all.
Look at that, that's awesome.
So it will, when you push it in, it will squash flat. It will flatten out like that. So we need to pull that shape back. So you just take the sides and pull the shape back.
This is lovely.
Okay, you just keep pulling. And you'll need to reposition the mesh, because as you pull it this way, it shrinks this way. So as you pull this way, the mesh shrinks this way. So we just need to keep repositioning where our mesh is.
Awesome.
Okay, and you fiddle with that until you've got it right. Okay.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And maybe need it maybe a bit bigger than that. Don't worry about it being sort of baggy, because we'll tighten all that out after. Okay, so once you've got it roughly to the shape you want, we need to secure this end to our, we need to secure the mesh to our frame.
Okay, so do you do that with wire?
Yes, so I'm going to do that with the 0.4 wire, which is a good for binding it all together. Okay, so I take my 0.4 wire and just wrap.
You just pop your head back a little bit.
Sorry, my leaning over.
You're engrossed. That's fine.
And then just wrap the 0.4 wire, and all you're doing is securing the mesh to the frame, that's all.
It's a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be, actually, Gemma. I envisaged, painstakingly sewing the mesh onto the frame, but it's a lot simpler than that. That's brilliant.
It's a quite quick and easy technique, this one. I've done fascinators with these leaves and all sorts. Okay, so once I've got it secure, then take the wire, and we're going to run this wire down the centre of our leaf to form the centre. And on the centre one, I've used these lovely
the smoky
quartz.
Yeah.
So you'll need just as many smoky quartz as will fit down the centre of that leaf. Lovely.
I actually said before we did the before we started the show today, tell everyone that you wove the mesh by hand.
So
but that probably would take quite a while, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would take a while.
So we're not going to lie to you. No, just use the mesh.
Although I know there are some people clever enough out there to do that.
I know there are, yeah.
Or patient enough.
Fantastic. So you're putting your smoky quartz on now.
Put all my smoky quartz on.
This is so lovely, because I assume every single one of these beautiful leaves that is made from everyone who's been inspired by today's show, every single one's going to be unique, everyone's going to be different, and that's what's so lovely about this.
That's right, that's right. And you know, you can make them all different sizes and shapes.
Of course you can, yeah.
The mesh is so flexible. You can make round, even variegated leaves, because the mesh will flex to where you want it to go. I'm just doing this very quickly. Right, I'm not going to fill it up just because of time and making sure we get everything covered.
Though.
So that's going to run the centre. So now our wire is at the bottom, and it's going to, if you twist your mesh.
Okay.
So you've got something to wrap against, and then with that excess piece of 0.4 wire, you want to wrap that very tightly to keep that in place. Okay. And what I've done is I've then taken the ends of my wire, and I've just, a couple of times, just to make it doubly secure, threaded it through the mesh and bound it to the frame slightly.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I just pop that through. And I've done that both sides, just one or two stitches, we'll call them.
Yeah.
All right, and then
lovely.
You bend it back into place. And then simply trim the end of that mesh off. Okay.
Perfect.
So there's our leaf shape.
And did you just bend that over your hand to kind of get the curve that you want?
Yeah, you get the curve that you like, and you can do this once it's in situ on the neck as well, because you know you might think, oh, I want it wider or flatter.
Oh, that's lovely.
Right, these two ends then, these are going to form how we thread it onto the actual necklace itself.
Oh, okay.
So we pinch them together slightly. And then I'm going to do, they're a bit too long. You need about an inch in these coils. Okay, let's tidy that up a bit. And then on each one, take your round nose pliers and create a spiral.
Lovely. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the finished article here. I see what you're doing, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So we'll create a spiral with our pliers. And we do that on both.
It's a really nice design feature as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lovely way of attaching it to the necklace, but what a lovely design feature as well. It's a little curly bail, it's great.
What these do is they help the help the leaves sit proud of the neckline too, because they're curved. They naturally sort of propel the piece outwards. So we're going to thread through those two coils that we've made.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay.
Right, so then this threads then into our, I'll show you that threads into our necklace.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. So there's the centerpiece now. And then we'll make one of these seed pods next. Okay, so the seed pod, again, we'll take a length of wire around 15 centimetres this time. And we want to, this time the top, these ends are going to be the bottom rather than the top. So we want to almost fold it double, with the wire double in the centre. And pinch those together so that these two wires are running parallel. Okay, and then we need another point piece. This one here. Now this one you need a lot more wire, so I've got a metre of my 0.4 wire here.
Okay, you get 100 metres of it, so
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. You know, the lower the gauge wire, the more you'll use.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to secure that by just wrapping the wire round and around.
Nice. Okay.
And around. And
even that, even though it is, you know, you're putting that on there and anchoring it there more for a practical reason than anything else. It's still a great design feature, isn't it? It's lovely.
Yeah, it's really decorative, and I think the colours help. The antique gold on top of the black.
Because you love your antique bronze wire, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's my favourite. And then separate these out, and then we're going to make this sort of seed pod in this section here.
Gorgeous.
So I'm going to take my wire, and where I've now separated these out, it leaves it able for me to do a weave. So what I'm going to do is take the wire over one side, under the other side, and back. Over, under, over, under.
So it's just a weave, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the basket weave. The most simple you can go. So over and under, and keep going until you're sort of happy with how far down that is coming. You can see how quickly that builds up. Okay, so we've already...
Look at that.
And keep your wire nice and firm, and it will sit nicely. Okay, so we go to there. And then I'm going to start threading some beads on.
Okay.
So I want there to be a gap. So what I'll do to create enough space for the beads to sit nicely next to each other, you wind around one side until you've sort of got your half a bead distance down.
Okay.
Which will allow your bead to sit where you want it. So I'm going to wrap to there.
That means you can be more economical with your gemstones, doesn't it, I
suppose?
Yeah,
yeah. The more you do, the more wraps you do, the further, the more spread out your gems will be. So then I take one of your smoky quartz again, thread it on, and then take your wire and
that looks great.
Wrap around this side. And again, you're going to need to go quite a few wraps down. So keep wrapping until you've got maybe, I'd say it's about 1/2 centimetre I've wrapped.
Yeah.
Down the side on this side of the seed pod, and then add in another gemstone, and you continue like that all the way down until you're happy with the length of this little pods that you've made. Wrap down.
Just lovely, and again, it's a great way of being more economical with your gemstones. But because you've separated the smoky quartz out a little bit more, it allows even more light to get to them, to reflect from them, to really make them glow. You can see the kind of finished seed pod idea here and here. Just lovely. Just adds so much texture as well using that wire.
That's right. Those colours do work so beautifully together.
Yeah, they
really
do.
Are.
Stunning.
So if I show you at this point, just so that we're going to have enough time to get through everything, if we pretend we've threaded all our beads on, as in this one here.
Yeah, okay.
And so we're going to now do this section at the bottom, this little scroll. So we repeat the weave that was at the top. So over and under until you've pulled it into a point. Okay, so let's pretend we're there. So I've pulled it into a point, and then wrap very tightly when they join together. Okay. Once you've got them in this state, then you just use your round nose pliers and just coil them.
Oh, lovely.
And I haven't made mine equal. I actually like the fact that one was longer than the other, or one was slightly more coiled than the other.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So rolling them around my pliers to make these coils.
Yeah, stunning.
Okay.
Yeah, gorgeous.
So that would be that one. And to thread this onto your necklace, I best not forget that bit. Where we started, we doubled the wire over, and you just treat it as if it's one piece of wire now.
Ah, fantastic. Okay.
And use your pliers just to roll that round to make a loop. Okay, to thread it into.
Stunning.
Right. So there's that bit. Right. Now let me show you how to pop these picture artist jasper on and how to secure them in place. I think
gorgeous.
That's the best use of the rest of our time.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
think. Just going to thread one of these lovely agates on just to give me some separation to start. Okay. So for this,
you get to use these jaspers now.
yeah, they
They're
are
stunning,
so lovely.
aren't they?
Each one, I just wanted to put them all in rings and have hundreds of rings.
The groove that goes around the edge of each one of these jaspers, I mean, that in itself must be really difficult to be able to achieve, and to have that extra bit of carving going around the gemstone. But look at how Gemma's put the wire around it. It's so impressive. And it just anchors everything so beautifully.
Yeah.
It makes it sit so wonderfully.
I really didn't think I would be as taken with them as I actually was when I got my hands on them.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine them in work, but they make life much easier.
I bet they do, yeah.
Because sometimes,
absolutely.
you know, when you try and wire wrap a gemstone without a groove in it, it slips around, it doesn't necessarily sit where you want it.
Yeah.
You also run the risk of hiding some of the beautiful patterns in your stone, and you don't really want to do that. These are ideal.
Exactly, yeah. Fantastic, okay.
Right, so what I've done is I've taken a length of wire that I'm happy to work with. Now, the longer the better, it's the less joins you have to make, but you don't want to be poking yourself in the eye every 5 minutes.
With it, do you?
So I've hand coiled around this choker there, and we'll call this choker band. But you can use a gizmo and then just attach in the coils after. But I've hand coiled.
So you could just get a gizmo section, couldn't you, and just cut it down to size?
Yeah, if you like your gizmo, you can just do it that way. Right, so now I've popped in one of my agates. I've wrapped up to about 1/2 centimetre, and I'm going to add on one of my artist jasper and thread it onto the 1mm wire. They've got a substantial drill hole in as well, so you know they'll go on the 1mm wire no problem without scratching the wire. Okay, so you can see it's easy. The wire just sits around the edge of that gemstone.
Oh, it's stunning.
And what I've done is I've wrapped it round twice, and then I've come back on myself and taken it round the other side of the groove.
Okay.
And wrapped it round twice just to secure. And then I've just come back at one side or the other. It's up to you.
Gosh, that gemstone is so anchored in place because of the grooves.
Yeah.
You've been able to use them.
That's right. And then you just continue with your coil until you run out of wire, or until you want to add another stone in. Oh, I didn't show you how to put attach these beads around the side.
You could do it with another one if you want.
We'll do that again now.
Yeah,
then.
brilliant.
So then let's get another one of these jasper.
It's just an excuse to use another one of the
That's
jaspers,
it.
isn't it?
That's it.
See, I can read it like a book.
Okay, so I've got my length of wire and I've got my jasper on my necklace strand.
Brilliant.
And I've taken, I think, 7 or 8 of these little smoky quartz, which are gorgeous.
Aren't they just?
It's nice to have them not faceted for a change.
Yeah, isn't it? It's really, really lovely.
Yeah, and especially in this, if you want to create a more rustic style, you don't necessarily want the facets.
Yeah, sometimes they add a
colour.
bit too much glamour, don't they? You
Yeah.
want something which is a little bit more earthy, a little bit more suitable for a design like this.
So I was really pleased when I managed to get these.
Good.
Okay, so I think 7 is roughly enough to go all the way round the gemstone on one side.
Okay.
And so you just add it in, you do exactly what you did before. 2 coils, just to secure it. Then back around the gemstone the other direction. So we thread on 7 more. They are graduated, these, so you can spend some time and graduate.
Well, I see you've done that on one
sizes.
of, I can certainly see it in this one here. You've actually graduated. You've got the smaller ones on the edges, then larger ones in the centre. I mean, it just looks, it's stunning. It just adds so much quality. It highlights the beauty of the jasper, I think, as well. It's like it's picture framed it almost.
Yeah, that's right. So then,
Lovely.
again, you've got them on there. Give them two wraps, and then again bring that back up around the stone, the wire back up around, and continue coiling to the top.
Lovely.
All the way around, adding beads in as and when or if you want them in. And then when you come to do your hook, this is the final.
Yes, of course, the hook on the end.
The final section to complete complete this design is.
Here we go.
So
Just turning the necklace. There we go. So this is the bit we're going to see now. The hook.
yeah. Now I've added a stone at either end there, and that's quite integral to the design because the hook you need something to push against on that hook. So I recommend putting a bead before you make your hook.
Good. Yeah, good tip.
So take your wire, you've got your length of wire that you've been coiling with, pop your bead on and then secure that bead in place by just hooking around it with the wire and a couple of coils. So you're just wrapping it around. And then you can cut your wire off and discard it.
So good that you get 100 metres of wire in this collection because you use a lot of it, don't you?
Yeah, you do in all the wrapping. It's surprising how much the coils take up. Okay, so then to make the hook, I always kink the wire backwards first, or back on itself first, and then again use my mandrel or a pen and roll the wire around your mandrel or your pen, almost so that it touches, just so that it's touching that bead there. Am I in the right position?
Yeah, we can see that, definitely.
Okay, and then on the end, all we want to do is just make sure that that's not scratchy and poking out. And so all you do is right on the end of that hook, pop in your pliers and roll it around just so that it meets itself. If you want to continue, you can make a little coil, and you've now got a hook. And it's quite sturdy. If you want to make it stronger,
Really
you can hammer it, and that will just hook.
Look at that.
Hook in there.
Isn't that lovely? Making your own clasp to go on the end of it as well. It's such a fluid piece, and when you see a piece like this from beginning to end, it's actually all the techniques are really they're quite doable, aren't they?
Yeah, they're nice, simple techniques. You just pop them all together.
And I noticed actually on the front of the necklace here, you've actually sewn these leaves together, haven't you? Which is really nice as well. I like that.
I wove them in together just to keep them exactly where I wanted them, so there's no movement. There's no.
Yeah.
It's not going to alter as you move around.
Fantastic. Such beautiful texture in this as well. Don't forget, you're going to be getting, your piece will look different to this. Your piece, you may have more leaves or less leaves, or you might use a jasper in a different way.
Right.
Everything that you've got here has been put together by Gemma specifically to make, this beautiful kind of quite tribal, quite ethnic-y piece. 300 carats of your artist jasper, which I think we both agree is just the most amazing strand of gemstones. Even if you get this just for the jasper, it's a great reason to get it. You're also going to be getting a smoky quartz, your banded agate, your 10 metres of black coloured silver plated copper wire that's 1mm in gauge, 100 metres of the 0.4mm gauge antique bronze colour copper wire, and 1 metre of the khaki green coloured mesh ribbon as well. It's been fascinating having you with us today, Gemma. It's lovely. It's so great to see this piece from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Is there any other kind of tip that you can think of that you want to kind of add on to this, or anything else you want people to, or something which you found more difficult? It would be a good thing to.
No, I think the most important thing is when you're stretching the mesh out, remember it will shrink. If you pull it one way, it's going to shrink the other way.
Perfect. Okay.
So I think you just need to remember that and never cut it until you're actually happy with how it's sitting around your leaf.
Okay, stunning. Thank you.
Okay.
$34.95, a fantastic deal for your collection today. Don't forget, this has been put together by Gemma, and I know that we're all going to agree, the pieces that she's made are absolutely superb. We are going to be bringing you lots and lots and lots more designed by shows, because we do realise that there are lots of jewellery makers out there, probably yourself included, who are looking for something a little bit more advanced. This hopefully is going to be something which will inspire you. Do get this in your basket. It is a free phone number from a BT99, or get involved on our website as well. If you want to incorporate any other gemstones, any other mesh, then just go to our website, JewelleryMaker.com, and you can add them to your order as well. Thank you so much, Gemma. It's been lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys, and get making, get inspired.